The solar conditions vary a lot. In the east, in New York, they're proposing to do quite a number of solar farms on landfills. So it's not ag land, it's alternative and maybe final use for a landfill. Not bad. In Iowa, we're doing a solar farm in the floodplain just behind the dike of the Mississippi River. It's not ag land, it's urban. It's in Dubuque, Iowa. It's an urban, right downtown in the urban core. But in other cases, many cases, they're utilizing ag land. You know, again, I think this is a alternative kind of farming in a way. We're farming energy, we're farming pollinators, we're providing a place for native plants to exist. So again, there's so many benefits, so many win-win-wins. It's really potentially exciting. And so we're in some ways perhaps lightening the load on the infrastructure of our society. So I think these are all things that add up. And of course, for me, as an ecologist, I look at habitat preservation and plant diversity. You might say refugia for plants. And some of these, if we wanted to get more sophisticated, and I hope we do eventually, we can use those sites as habitat refugia for plants that are fairly rare. And for example, we had people here representing a 4,000 acre wind farm or solar farm out in California. 4,700 acres of solar. Think about that. 10 acres, 10 miles roughly by 4 or 5 miles wide of all solar. This is a big solar farm. On that site, they provide habitat for kit fox. Kit fox are endangered. They're, you know, they need all the space that we can give them. So here we've taken a site and provided electricity production, habitat for plants and animals. This is really pretty good stuff. It makes all the sense in the world. So why not?
Sure.
So here in Minnesota, back in June of 2016, we passed legislation that helped establish a standard for pollinator-friendly vegetation under solar arrays. What that does is allows us to have a measuring tool so that if a solar company wants to claim that they're pollinator friendly, we have a way to measure that. We see solar developers who will want to just purely plant pollinator friendly on the outside and call that pollinator friendly. Well, they could do that, and that's essentially greenwashing, where it's not really pollinator friendly, but how do we have a measurement so we're all on the same playing field with what that means? The scorecard that we've developed here, a similar one has been adopted in New York and Maryland, and those are providing agreed to measurement that any solar developer that wants to call themselves pollinator friendly has to at least meet a minimum standard of 70% according to that scorecard. They have to meet 70% of the points on the scorecard have to meet and have to respond to the needs of vegetation.